Hi everybody! As I promised you a couple weeks ago, I was going to show you some of my favorite primal movements. So just to recap, in case you missed some of my videos, primal movements are all the fundamental type of movements or functional movements that we need every day in our lives, such as pulling, pushing, lunging, squatting, and in some situations even like crawling, dragging objects. So all things like, if you think for instance, if you work in a farm or you watch farmers working, they doing constantly pushing, pulling, squatting, lunging. So we call those primal movements. So I'm going to show in this video today different types of pulling, specifically using a cable machine. Now, if you say, well, I work at home, I don't have a cable machine. If you don't have a cable machine, you can use like an elastic band, and they come in different resistances. So this is a blue one. It's a pretty tough one. And all you need to do is to wrap the band around something solid, like a column in your garage, or you can buy, I believe on Amazon, these little tiny straps that you can use on your doorway. So just look, and I will share in my video blog, right below my blog, the brands and how you can find bands and the little strap I'm talking about. But let's talk about the cable, and again, you can transfer these motions to the band. So remember, if you've never done strength training or this type of exercise I'm about to show you, hire a professional, hire a trainer for at least a couple sessions. It's worth the investment, the time, the money, so you learn proper techniques. If you perform exercises with poor form, wrong breathing pattern, poor alignment of your spine, you can get injured. So please hire a professional if you've never done this before. So one of the most basic pulling exercises, it's single arm pulling. And I like to teach people how to do this exercise first in a very steady position. So I'm going to actually bring you closer to me so you can see me better. So a steady pulling I would call a pull that you're not rotating your body. You simply steady holding to your core, especially if your goal is to strengthen your core. You simply pull the handle, add some resistance, so there's resistance here, so when I go back, that weight stack doesn't bottom down. And inhaling as I pull, exhale as you release. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Notice as I do the exercise, my knees are slightly bent. I am driving my shoulder back first, and then the arm follows. One of the most common mistakes I see people doing pulling exercises is this. They are pulling from the arms and not from the backs. So the mistake will look like this. My shoulders forward, and I'm pulling like this, leaving my shoulder forward in a very tight position. Doing rows that way can lead to postural faults, like hyperkyphosis, which can lead to rotator cuff issues. If you're executing exercises with your posture like this, you are jamming those ligaments, all the connective tissue that connects your clavicle, your shoulder blade, or your scapula, your humerus, and the arm in that shoulder. So you need to create space in that joint. So every time you pull, now I'm going to get very close to the camera so you can see. If I do a pull in a slow motion, you should be driving that shoulder back. So if you watch, so if I'm teaching somebody for the first time and they don't have a good body awareness, I teach them to simply do this movement first. So perfect pulling in a rowing pattern should be shoulder and then the arm follows. So when I'm at the end of my motion, you see how my shoulder is all the way back, and my shoulder blade is fully flat going towards my spine. So the same thing goes if you're doing double arm rowing. you should always have their sternum really high and drive from your back. It's a back pull and not an arm pull, as I say. And second thing, make sure you got good core stability, because another mistake is for people pulling and moving their back in this pattern. This will crush the low back. So I always teach my clients, think of your body, your trunk like having two brackets. One right here, one on the abdominals and one on the back. So as you pull, those two brackets are counteracting together in providing your trunk perfect stability. So it's about scapula's retraction, meaning bring your shoulder blades towards your spine, and core engagement. That makes your trunk very, very solid. I'm going to show a second one here, which is a pulling with an integration of your hip. Little more functional, but I always encourage you gotta learn how to do the exercise in a static position first, so you can really learn how the muscles work. And then I move them towards a more dynamic pulling. So the dynamic pulling will look like this. Same breathing pattern. And in this one, my back foot, it's pivoting a little bit. I'm pivoting my foot, ankle, so my hip has more freedom of movement. If you lock the back foot on the floor, you can't really move that hip with freedom. And when you cannot move your hip with freedom and you perform a big movement, that rotation is going to go somewhere else. If the hips are not rotating and you continue rotating that cable with all the load, that rotation transfers to your lumbar spine. And that's exactly what you don't want. So that's why in order to do more integrated movements like this, you must learn first how your body works and learn how to perform this rowing in a static position with perfect form. Those are my tips for today on the pulling exercise. Next time, I'll share some pushing. Have a great day.